What's up, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Will Spins Way Too Long talking about a thing that he's excited about. And today, well, there is a lot to be excited about. As you can see, I am flipping my Palatheus Ronin, or Palatheus Ronin, however you want to pronounce that. And I just gotta say, I have turned around on this thing. It turns out I really do enjoy flipping it. Now, something to note about the Ronin is that the Ronin is, how do you say, kind of iffy on the quality control. So whether or not your Ronin would be as good as this Ronin is really up in the air. But in my opinion, this thing flips freaking awesome. And it's got a little bit of tape residue on the blade there. And there's a reason for that. It's because I was opening a package. And that package contained a few things. And you can see right in front of me, oh, look at this. 3 discrete, weirdly indiscriminate black cases that don't have any markings or anything on it. Weird, right? Well, if you remember, in one of my very recent videos, I talked about how I have been working with a wonderful company known as My Case Builder. And I'm currently working with them to produce a lineup of Balisong specific cases. So these would be cases that you could buy for relatively inexpensive and put your Balisongs in. Now, obviously, as you get to bigger, custom cases, they're going to get more expensive. My very large Pelican case, which can hold almost 50 Balisongs, is pretty darn expensive. But it also holds like 50 Balisongs, and if each one of those Balisongs costs $300 or more, like this Ronin here, you start to understand why you might spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 to protect that large of an investment. However, these cases are not as expensive as $400. As a matter of fact, this case right in the middle, this cute one right here, holds a surprising number of Balisongs for its size and should cost around $50, if not less than $50. My goal is less than $50, but, we still haven't figured out exact pricing yet. It'll depend on everything, but I want it to be bare minimum around $50, which I think is a pretty good investment because, look at this. I'm so excited about this, y'all. You crack it open, bop. Look at that. It's beautifully laid out. You have everything going on. There's custom printing happening, so you have the logo, you have the little fox head, there's a spot for oil right here, so a little oil cutout. This is a prototype. These are all prototypes. I made the oil cutout too small because I am very intelligent, so the oil cutout is slightly too small, so the oil bottle, you can force it in there, but it's really hard to get it back out, so I would not suggest forcing the oil bottle into this. I literally spent like 10 minutes trying to get that back out just before I shot this video. So, we're going to be changing a few small things, but so far, this is the final layout. So this one, for around $50, can hold 8 Balisongs, which is more than my original, the first case I ever made, which is a Pelican 1120. My Pelican 1120 could only hold 6 Balisongs, and 6 was not a lot of Balisongs, if you would believe it. And that was unfortunate because that thing cost like $120 or so to get made. So this can hold 8 for like 50-ish bucks. And that's crazy because each one of these Balisongs obviously is going to cost a lot more than $50. So that's pretty cool. But let me run you through some of the ideas that we've put into motion here. So first of all, you've obviously got this nice big open space on the side, and you can just literally stick whatever you want in there. I kind of made it perfect so you could have a big microfiber cloth to pad everything out, and then I have a Weehaw stubby screwdriver in there, some stickers, and then this oil guy, but you can fit whatever you want in there, accessory-wise, which I think is useful. So then outside of the general storage, you have the oil thing that doesn't work yet, but I'm going to fix that. And then you have storage for each one of your Balisongs. And something that's pretty cool is that they actually provide access to custom printing here. And so what I've gone and done is I've added the orange to the bottom of every single one of these spots where your Balisong goes. And that seems like a small detail at first, but actually it's about usability. You see, one of the things that I thought of when I was building these cases was using these at knife meetups and also using these at like Blade Show, right? And at those conventions, a lot of times you're handing out your Balisongs, you know, you're letting people use them and then borrow them and then bring them back. And so by having the orange print at the bottom of each one of these cutouts, it makes it a lot easier for you to keep track of which ones are missing, right? Because you suddenly have this hole with an orange background that's there. And so visually, it just makes it a little bit easier to tell which one is missing. So you've got 7 of these holes, and then you've got a 8th hole over here, which is a display hole. And this is something that I came up with when I created my larger Balisong case, and I wanted every single one of the cases that we made now to have a display part because, you know, to be fair, this is not a very efficient use of space, and I totally understand that. I probably could have put, you know, 2 of these here or something like that, but I thought, and I hope that you all agree with me, that everybody in the Balisong community tends to have a Balisong that they're kind of proud of, and so this is the spot for you to display that Balisong. And it fits most Balisongs. Even relatively large ones will fit into this area. You can see the Kershaw Lucha with the fly tie handles. That's one of the largest Balisongs I know of, and it fits perfectly into all of the different configurations. So that is extremely exciting. And as I said, this one is going to be available for around $50. As I said, I still don't know the final price, but around $50 is the goal. Then, from there, moving up in price, so there's 2 kinds of cases. There's cases like this, which are an actual Pelican-style case. This is a case that is waterproof, it's crush-proof, it is, you know, really, really rugged. But the problem is that these really, really rugged cases cost a lot of money. And truthfully, the amount of protection you need for your, you know, knives made out of solid titanium isn't a lot, and so really you just need organization. So these cases, which are more like gun, like pistol cases, are going to be a little bit more friendly budget-wise, which is how we can get the price so low, and they lock up and everything like that, and then you can take it around and you don't have to worry about the knives moving around. I've done extensive testings with that display Balisong spot, and you can see it doesn't move. Even when you shake it around a bunch, everything's nice in there. The only thing moving around is the stuff in this pocket. So yeah, don't put breakable stuff in there, I guess. But so this is a more advanced option, and this is going to be around $120 to $150. And that's simply because of the quality of the case. The case itself is waterproof, it's airtight, and it is more expensive. So if you have more expensive Balisongs, maybe it's the one for you. However, at the same time, annoyingly, it actually has less space than this guy. And so even though it has more protection, it's a little bit lesser in terms of the internals. So you can see it only carries 7 instead of 8 Balisongs. And that's for, as I said, with my original case, it was like $120. This one would be around like, I think 90 or 80 or something like that. As I said, we're still working on the final prices, but you know, it's a little bit weird how custom cases work. But my favorite option between is this is obviously my favorite. I think 8 is a great size for anybody's collection and is like a really great starting point. But check this thing out. Ready? Ooh, gorgeous. So this is the big boy. So at the end, this is going to hold 15 Balisongs. Right now it holds 17, and I've realized that's actually slightly too many. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be removing these 2 slots. You can see the walls are actually relatively thin between each Balisong, and it doesn't give you a lot of leeway in terms of thickness. You can see the walls here are almost twice as thick as right here, and so I'm going to be fixing that. Whereas on these, it'll be thicker. So I'm going to remove this slot, remove that slot, and space these slots out. And that'll also take the number of slots from what was originally 17 and make it 15, which is a nice, pretty round number. And you know, we all like nice, pretty round things. So there you go. That's the idea with that. The other thing that this case needs is, unfortunately, so you can see I've done my best to make sure that a wide variety of Balisongs can fit in any of these cases. And that was very important to me. So you can see I've got the Tay flipper right here, and that is a pretty massive Balisong, all things considered. It's very thick, and yet it still fits right into one of the holes. Same thing with the Machine-Wise Delta 5T right here. This guy still can fit right into one of the holes and not have a problem. However, they do stick up more than I'd like them to. So one thing I will need to do is I'm actually going to deepen the holes just ever so slightly, because right now the lid, as it closes down, it tries its best, but you really kind of got to crank it down to make it close. Oh God. Which means that I'm crushing these top knives into the foam beneath them, which is part of the design. That helps hold them. However, you can see the case flexes here on the side, and so I just need to deepen those holes a little bit so it doesn't do that. But overall, this is fantastic progress, and for a first, sample, this is incredibly exciting. A couple other features this case has is obviously it has a massive pocket here for whatever you want, so you get a lot more storage. As you can see, I fit an entire Weehaw T8, or no, this is a T10 driver, so I have an entire Weehaw T10 driver that fits right in there, which is so convenient. Got a full cloth, I've got my oil, I've got some of the Glider Co. bite handle markers, and then I've got another slot here for other things that are like smaller items. So I've got a little Benchmade Weehaw torque set, and then, oh God, if I can get it out, I've got my little beautiful pivot tool, which is very nice, and also some KPL, which, as I said, does not fit in the oil hole. I will fix that. I think it'll be better to overshoot the size of the oil hole instead of undershoot it. I think I measured the exact diameter and then had them cut that, which ended up being the exact diameter, which is awesome, but is a very tight fit. So you gotta want it if you're gonna get it out of that hole. So I'm gonna fix that. But yeah, as you can see, there's so much storage capacity here. It is legitimately very exciting. And I believe we have 5 case designs overall. Maybe it's 4. I could be wrong. I forget exactly how many of these I made. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing a couple iterations here. So for these first 2, as I said, these are not crush-proof, these are not waterproof, they are just storage options. Essentially, they keep your knives nice and organized. This one over here is much more heavy-duty. It's crush-proof, it's waterproof. It'll, you could drop your knives out of a plane and it would protect them. So if you are traveling, this is the option to go with, whereas if you're just bringing your knives to display, this is a better option. But you could use this, so here's the thing, when you're flying across the country, if you are flying and you need to put your knives into your checked baggage, this you can do that with. You can put this into your checked luggage and it'll be fine, and it'll be legal to take it anywhere in the United States, as long as your destination, it is legal to own Balisongs, but it'll be legal to at least fly it there. However, these guys, you couldn't just fly by themselves. They're not heavy duty enough, so they could potentially break in transit or something like that. So they're still very, very high quality cases, but these are more for organization, whereas the Pelican style stuff is going to be for like rugged, heavy duty use. And another thing to note about these guys being rugged and heavy duty is also they come in multiple colors. So as you can see, I have black right here, but I believe these are available in like yellow and red and orange, which is pretty cool. So you could actually get your own custom colored case, which is very nice. But for these 2, the case only comes in black, but that's how they keep it so cheap. So that's how these 2 are going to be both sub $100. Even the 15 one, I think, will be, or I know for a fact the 15 one is going to be sub $100, but I don't remember exactly what price point it's at. But, once you're storing 15 Balisongs, if you can store them beautifully like this for less than $100, like, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? Because every one of your Balisongs is going to cost more than $100 most likely, unless we're talking about something like the Squiddy or the this guy right here, right? And so in terms of like protecting your investment, it's a pretty freaking good option. So yeah, this has me very, very excited. This one absolutely passes with flying colors. I actually need to try, let's put some really thick boys into here just to see how it handles that, just to test. I do like doing a good scale test to make sure that it really does pass with flying colors, and we can do that live here for you, so you can see my testing methodology. So you can see definitely having a bit more of a troubled time with that, and yep, there's a bit of a bowing here, and I think that's owed specifically to this guy right here, this very, very thick, chonky boy. But that's the thing, is I want these Balisong cases to be able to support stuff like a thick, chonky boy like that. So I think I'm going to deepen the holes across all the Balisong cases and make it where they all utilize that sort of deeper hole setup. But all in all, I am very, very satisfied with this. Like, I had a dream a long time ago of when I created the YouTube channel, like of affecting the Balisong community in a positive way. And something that I think was very important to me was having an ability to bring around and store your knives in a way that would be cheap, accessible, and easy. And easy is the biggest thing, right? Because currently the only way to really do that is either purchase stuff that wasn't made for Balisongs, it was just made for folding knives, and then you use it for Balisongs, or you have to pay a lot of money and you have to have some know-how in a CAD program to actually design your Balisong container. And that's not good enough for me. So I, ever since I started the YouTube channel, had thought, oh man, I would really like it if my case builder and I could like get together and do a collab and stuff like that. And so after I made my case builder tutorial, they reached out to me and like sent over some my case builder swag that was like stickers and a little beanie and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I might as well hit them up and see what they say. And they said yes. So, and here we are. We've made it this far into the project. So these are the first prototypes. I'm going to be getting the prototypes of the larger ones as well relatively soon. But just so you know, for now, this is going to be the situation. Also, something to note, I guess, that's a little bit important is this case over here and the other Pelican-style cases, I actually am going to be keeping the depth of the cutouts the same because they have a much more rigid body and a better locking system, so they don't need to worry about, the Balisong sticking out. Like, this one sticks out a substantial amount, and yet it closes just fine and holds everything nice and securely. These guys are flexible, as you can see. Like, the lid literally can flex. It's a much thinner material. It's still very high quality, but it's thinner material. And so the, flexing of it and the pressure that these can push up against the lid is something that is important to counteract. And so that's why I'm going to increase the depth on these specifically, but not on the Pelican style ones. And don't worry, because one of the upcoming ones is in fact the newest edition of my current case. So my big orange case, I'm going to be getting a bigger, I made a better version of it. So I took what I learned from creating my case, and we're iterating on that and making an even better version that then will be for sale. So you could actually buy the massive case that I have. And I only see that being really an option for people who have large collections. But if you have a large collection like I do, where you've got 50 or more Balisongs and you need to potentially fly them across the country and know that they'll be safe the entire time, or carry them around at conventions and know for a fact that everything will go well, that is indispensable, and that's why I am really excited to be presenting these to you guys. So yes, this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg, but we're going in deep. There's so much freaking cool stuff happening here. I am really excited about it. So let's shut these all, and then we can end the video, right? So look at that. It's a bit of a stretch, but something else that's cool about these guys is you can lock these, right? You've got a locking thread right there, and so you could put a lock on these guys and not have to worry about somebody tampering with your Balisongs, which is always good if you have knives, because, letting somebody tamper with your knives is never a good idea, in my opinion. Et voila, look at this. It's so freaking cool. Oh, it's so exciting. Oh, I hope you guys are excited. I am so excited. I can't describe how cool this is to me to be able to do and to be able to show you guys. So yeah, I really hope that this is exciting for you. I will be updating you on the progress of all of this. We're going to start getting some product photography with these guys. We're going to get shots of me and Brandon using them. We're going to be testing them out. I'm going to be making changes just to make sure they're absolutely perfect when they go public. But we are working as hard as we can to make this like a as soon as possible thing. So expect sometime relatively soon. It might be a couple months beforehand. I genuinely don't know what the exact time frame is going to be, but relatively soon you will be able to go to mycasebuilder.com and find the Will Hirsch page, and there will be all of these and more available for you to buy for a relatively cheap price, and you can store a bunch of Balisongs. I don't know, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. Can you tell I'm a nerd? Can you tell I'm excited? So yeah, that's just some of the stuff that's coming up, and I really hope you guys are excited for that, because this is genuinely one of the most exciting things I've ever gotten to do. Like, these things arriving at my house, these cases, and then me opening them, and like my design having been realized, and like it just, everything became very real all of a sudden, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be like a real thing that people can buy, and that's super cool. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. This is just very, very, very exciting, and I hope that you all are excited for this journey that we're all going to go on together. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the moment. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. And oh, here, I'm going to open it all back up, and we're going to get the thumbnail. That's how we do this. That's how we do this on this channel, baby. We're getting the thumbnail. Got to get that lovely, lovely thumbnail shot with all the Balisongs in there, right? So let's see here. Let's see. Can we frame it right? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. And then you do the peace sign, because you gotta have the peace sign. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.